Right now, is Madison getting closer to getting its own Amtrak station? We have details on the proposed plans from the Department of Transportation.
And nice weather is on tap for the upcoming weekend. 40s and 50s. That's short-lived. We got a big weather change to talk about coming up.
And later, how a state Democratic proposal could help municipalities across Wisconsin keep up with inflation. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. The years-long process of bringing passenger rails to Madison took another turn earlier this week.
The Transportation Department for the city releasing its final passenger rail station study with recommended station sites. And our Madison Rosen gives us the update.
The Madison Amtrak project could be back on track.
We're not connecting to these opportunities.
The Transportation Commission has been working towards connecting Madison to other major cities in the Midwest for years.
I think there's a lot of people who just can't picture it. They don't picture the idea that people want to get on and off in a downtown.
And earlier this week, they narrowed down possible sites to 2 of the most ideal locations. The Monona Lakefront site is Plan A, situated between John Nolan Drive and Wilson Street because of its proximity to downtown and connections to public transit.
Everybody wants to just be able to get on the train in downtown. The students, the business people, the people who don't have cars. It's just like another step.
If constructed, this station would fit a 700-foot-long platform for 3 to 4 round trips between Madison and Milwaukee, with eventual service to Chicago and the Twin Cities.
Who live in the Madison metro area, and especially in the city of Madison, recognize that this is a good thing. There's a lot of people that want this service in Madison, and the question is whether our leaders, our elected officials, both at the state level and the federal level, will also make that commitment and recognize both the desires and the needs of the people that they serve.
Now the city needs to wait to see if federal funding will be available for an Amtrak station. Reporting in Madison, I'm Madison Rosen, News 3 Now.
Now, the Johnson Street Yard site was chosen as a second option, but because there are very few destinations within walking distance of that site, it would only serve as an alternative if a downtown site is not possible. Now, police are sharing new information related to 2 brothers arrested on homicide charges for incidents that happened nearly a decade ago. 33-year-old Justin Charlo is accused of fatally shooting a 29-year-old man in a vehicle along Atterbury Lane on Madison's west side just off Raymond Road back on July 25th of 2017. He faces a charge of first-degree intentional homicide party to a crime. Yesterday, Columbia and Sauk County officials arrested him at a home in Randolph.
And meanwhile, 34-year-old Jordan Charlo was arrested for first-degree intentional homicide party to a crime for the same shooting. Jordan also faces homicide charges for a shooting in May of 2016 in which officers were called to a gas station on Verona Road and found an injured man inside a vehicle. That victim died at the hospital. Jordan was also allegedly involved in a 3rd homicide case from March of 2017, where he allegedly fired shots into a vehicle located on East Washington. The victim drove away from the shooting and died after crashing into a hotel on East Washington Avenue. Now, these arrests are happening just days after the Madison Police Department arrested a man connected to a deadly shooting on Madison's north side. Police arrested a 35-year-old man on Tuesday. The victim, Jamar Willis, died Monday.
News 3 Now looking at Madison's crime numbers after these recent arrests. And since 2021, homicides have gone down. In 2021, MPD reported 10 homicides that year. That number now down to 4 for this year so far. Officials say they're doing everything they can to keep the community safe.
We are a place that people can come to talk, to let us know how they're feeling and let us know places where they feel that we need to improve or things that we could do to help them feel safer. I think it's just a real effort between all of us to have a safe city.
Madison Police Department said it is open to improving community relationships and ask anyone to reach out to them with feedback.
We now know the identity of the man who died in a crash on South Stoughton Road earlier this week. According to the Dane County Medical Examiner's Office, 44-year-old Derek Powers of McFarland died in a vehicle fire after the crash Monday. The Sheriff's Department tried to stop Powers earlier that day, but he kept going and they did not pursue him. Later, witnesses saw his vehicle speeding into a ditch along the median side of South Stoughton Road. It then crossed all northbound lanes of traffic and crashed into a tree. County. Powers died at the scene.
2 women are in the hospital after a crash in a parking lot on the city's north side last night. It was about 10:30. Officers responded to a crash near Knutson Drive at Westport Road. Multiple witnesses reported that a car quickly accelerated in the parking lot there, hitting a 45-year-old woman who was left in critical condition. The suspected vehicle also crashed into another car in the area. When the 64-year-old driver was pulled from her vehicle, police reported she was unconscious. According to authorities, nothing suspicious was located in the driver's vehicle.
A 24-year-old man was taken to the hospital after he was hit by a car. This incident happened on Wednesday in the area of Fish Hatchery Road and High Street about 7:10. The man is expected to recover and the driver remained on the scene. Police stated she was cited for failing to yield to a pedestrian in the crosswalk.
Our first warned weather team said it would be partly to mostly cloudy today, and I saw a peak of snow out there, or I should say sun out there briefly. I don't want to see any snow anytime soon, but a little bit of blue sky at least I saw out there today, Alex.
A little bit of sun, a little bit of filtered sunshine, and then clouds on and off as we go into this weekend. If we have any bit more of that filtered sunshine, it's going to be Saturday, 49 degrees. On Sunday, much better chances for having mostly sunny conditions. I know hunters are interested in the winds this upcoming weekend. Light on Saturday from the southwest and more from the west and southwest as we head into Sunday. That being the warmer of the 2 days. But get ready because changes are on the way. Tonight we'll have lows in the mid-20s to upper 20s in a couple locations with clear to partly cloudy skies. We have the clear skies that allows the heat to go out to space, as I like to say. And then the upper 40s to right around 50 as we go into Saturday. If we get a little bit more sunshine, we may crack the 50-degree mark in a few more locations. And then things change, big changes. As we get into the Thanksgiving holiday, temperatures really cool on down as cold Arctic air makes its way into the upper Midwest, including southern Wisconsin, and then a swing back up possibly with our temperatures early going into December. With those swings, are we going to see any precipitation and in what form? I'm going to let you know when I come back.
Alex, thank you. For years, local municipalities across Wisconsin have asked the state government for more money. They argue that the current shared revenue funding formula has not kept up with inflation.
But as our LA La Liberté shows us, a state Democrat proposal hopes to address that.
To understand this legislation, we have to go back to 2023 when the governor signed Act 12.
Act 12 increased shared revenue and was the largest growth in Maine municipal revenue sources in decades. However, the act's effects varied widely for communities around the state. According to the Wisconsin Policy Forum, larger cities received much less per capita. That's why freshman Representative Ann Rowe joined Democrats this month to introduce a package of bills to tackle that gap. One of the bills would add supplemental aid payments to cities with populations of more than 50,000 people. Another would allow counties and municipalities to raise local option sales taxes up to 0.5%. Representative Rowe told me although Act 12 was a good start, it didn't go far enough.
And it did not set up our state for improvement and going forward because, there was not a great appetite for the hard work, and it will be hard work to evaluate that formula and bring it up to our current levels that we need to be for communities across the state.
I also asked Representative Rowe if this legislation gets to the root of the issue, and she tells me it's just a patch. However, she is working to form a bipartisan council to address the funding formula itself.
Thank you, Ellie, and you can catch Ellie's full conversation with Representative Rowe this Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record. Well, time is running out to donate to the Goodman Center's Thanksgiving Basket Drive.
After the break, we catch up with the folks at the center, which items they still need to make this year's drive a success.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. And happening right now, you still have time to help feed 4,000 families in Dane County this Thanksgiving.
The Goodman Community Center is taking donations right now through Sunday evening, so there's plenty of time. Our Tanisha Shaw joins us now live with what ingredients and how much of all of these things are needed. Tanisha.
Hi, Eric and Sarah. This is our final push of the day to make these Thanksgiving baskets. Now, take a look. You see all these baskets. These are going to go to 4,000 families in the Dane County area. And as you can see, it's a lot of volunteers here. This takes a lot of, time, dedication, and your help. So you at home, you can help with these cause. And even though these are a lot of baskets, we need 4,000, to make sure that 4,000 households have a good meal. And this is Abby. She's here at Goodman Community Center. And Abby, people are watching right now. We know y'all are open until 8 p.m. What should they be getting to make sure that these baskets get full?
Yes, so the main thing right now we're looking for is the cooking oil, gravy, and stuffing of any kind.
Yes, so that's what we need the most. And what else is in that basket? So what else can they grab, if they can afford it?
Brownie mix, cranberry is great. Another one is any kind of broth is something we're still looking for more of as well.
And Abby, before, we were live, we were talking, and you said you've been here for a while. How does it feel to see all this hard work paying off with all these baskets filling up this gym?
Yeah. So I've actually been at Goodman for 6 years, but this is my first time doing the Thanksgiving baskets. So it's super cool to see all the volunteers come together. And, we put shifts out there, about 600, and they filled up within a few hours. So it's really cool to see people wanting to help.
Yes, truly beautiful to see the community coming together. And Abby, when can people stop by? So we know it's till 8 p.m. today at this at the Goodman Community Center. When else can they drop off some items?
Yep. So Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5, we're going to have a drop-off spot on Wabisa Street, which is on the side of our food pantry over there. And those would be great times to drop off more food.
All right, so everyone, we know it's the season of giving right now. And as you can see with Abby's headband, we are in, the Thanksgiving mood. So please, everyone, if you can, please fill up these baskets. As she said, you can drop off items today till 8 p.m. and then throughout the weekend. And if you cannot make it physically, you can donate online. Eric and Sarah, I'm going to send it back to you for now.
All right, thank you so much, Tanisha. An easy thing to do over the weekend. And still ahead, some good news for some prices at the grocery store.
Plus, the U.S. trade war with China has soybean farmers caught in the crossfire. What the Soybean Association is saying about current sales.
And deer gun season opens this weekend. Alex returns with what the forecast will look like when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Right now, the Supreme Court is weighing President Trump's use of emergency powers to implement his tariffs. But in the meantime, soybean farmers are among those feeling the impact of the trade war. Soybeans are the U.S.'s largest agricultural export, which last year valued at more than $24 billion, according to USDA data. China purchased 53% of those exports, but by May, China placed an effective embargo on U.S. soybeans in retaliation for Trump's tariffs, instead buying soybeans from other countries. There is some hope after the U.S. met with China last month.
The United States was able to get the Chinese to back down from a prohibition of rare earth metals exports to the U.S. And in exchange, the U.S. would drop half of that fentanyl tariff. Also, China would buy 25 million metric tons of soybeans every year, beginning this year.
However, new data from the Agriculture Department shows China has made only 2 purchases of soybeans, totaling 232,000 metric tons of soybeans since the summit. The Soybean Association said although that number has gone up, it's still well below the 12 million metric tons that China promised to buy by the end of the year.
Experts say the prices of certain grocery items could be going down. That's after President Trump removed some tariffs on Brazilian goods yesterday. They include duties on coffee and beef, as well as certain fruits, juices, and nuts. The executive order applies retroactively from November 13th. That's the same day a previous order reduced tariffs on some food items. The U.S. has a trade surplus with Brazil, and President Trump says he imposed 50% duties on its goods in July to protest the trial of its former leader, Jair Bolsonaro. Well, a busy weekend ahead with the Badgers and Packers games and hunting season 2. Alex, can we expect the sun?
We can expect the sun to finally make its appearance I should say more of the sun making its appearance as we go into Saturday, even more on Sunday. Clearing out as we go into the Badger game as we move into Saturday night. Temperatures inching their way down. By the time we get to the end of the game, we'll be at 39. Dry weather, a touch on the breezy side Saturday night. And then we break down the Packers game here together. Partly sunny skies up in Lambeau Field. Temperatures halftime getting near 50 degrees. So I call this comfortable for November standards. So enjoy the game. Just grab the green jacket or the gold jacket and you're ready to rock and roll for the Packers game. Hunters this weekend. I understand that the wind direction and speed is incredibly important. So morning winds on opening day here on Saturday out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we get into the afternoon, they switch a little bit to the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour with mild temperatures near 50 degrees. All part of the three things you got to get out of this forecast tonight. Where we should be, seasonably cool temperatures. By the rest of the weekend, sunny on Sunday. That will be the sunniest out of the 2 days this weekend. And then that Arctic blast is still on its way. It has its sights set on the upper Midwest, much of the country for that matter. Lows tonight, low to mid-20s as we clear those skies out. That allows heat and radiation to go out to space. That allows the temperature to drop. But it also means if we've got sunshine, that the temperatures tomorrow in the upper 40s, we might be just a little bit warmer in the lower 50s if we can get just a little bit more in the way of sunshine. Good chances for rain Monday going on into Monday night into Tuesday. This is part of that transition towards the colder stuff, the Arctic air that will be on the way to southern Wisconsin. And here come those showers. After a dry weekend in the upper Midwest, those showers breaking out in Minnesota and Iowa, making their way into Wisconsin by Monday at 6 o'clock. And then just a washout Monday night going on into Tuesday as that weather system moves through the upper Midwest. Not expecting snow out of that weather system, but that's an important point here because we cool down Wednesday, Thursday, breezy conditions, Thanksgiving, a chilly day, that shopping Friday, 31. That's all we're going to do with that chance for a few flurries. And then look what happens behind me here. Our temperatures may warm up Sunday going into Monday. We could get on the warm side of a weather system, bringing good chances for rain. But guess what? We're not going to be that far away from the cold air either. It's going to be a really, really tight call. A lot of hum on social media. I've been asked about a holiday weekend storm. Is a weekend storm possible next weekend? Models are showing the possibility of a weather system. Now that's 10 days out. A lot of uncertainty there. There could be some accumulating snow in the Midwest. The First Warn Weather Team, we're keeping a close eye on our weather models, but that track, I'm going to be abundantly clear, is not clear yet. So where that snow sits up, where the rain sits up, that's why you need to keep tuning in to the First Warn Weather Team over the next couple days. We'll be first to let you know all the latest on that possible weather system next weekend.
Sounds great. Thank you, Alex. Of course, we'll stay tuned. And as part of Wisconsin Winter Weather Awareness Week, speaking of winter, the First Warn Weather Team is announcing daily winners of a First Warn Weather Team snow shovel.
And the fifth and final winner is Mary McCown from Arena. Congrats to Mary. Tune in tonight at 10. You'll get more information on how to see the First Warn Weather Team's final 2025-2026 winter weather forecast. Still to come in sports, Reedsburg looks for its first state title in football since 2009. Andrew Banstra with the highlights. Stay with us. It's next on News 3 Now.
After starting the season with a 4-3 record, the idea of even ending up in the state championship game was a beaver tale that even Reedsburg wouldn't have believed. But here they are at Camp Randall for the first time since 2009, fueled by the willpower of Will McConowicz. Reedsburg trailing 7-0 in the first quarter, and Will brings the thrill. Ring, 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 an 80-yard house call that will pick up. How about this? He could go all the way, and he gets it into the promised land. This one would head to halftime tied at 7 apiece. Skipping to the fourth quarter, just when it looked like things were over for Reedsburg, McConowicz picks off Grafton, and they would turn it into points. McConowicz, Mr. Do-It-All, scores the touchdown to make it a 1-point game with less than 2 minutes to go. He had 255 yards on the ground, 2 TDs, and how about this? They would go for the lead. Who else but Will McConowicz takes it, spins into the house, and gives his Beavers a late lead. And it looked like this was the end of a miracle season, but it wasn't. Grafton would storm down the field and stay undefeated, stunning the Beavers and winning this one 17-15.
I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, I know we came up short, but the work we put in to make it this far, it's just an honor to play with those guys. I know they got my back.
But much more going on in the world of sports. For that, we send it to Nash Dara.
Wisconsin men's basketball is off to a hot start this season, being undefeated through 4 games. But earlier today, the Badgers had their first real test of the season on the road in Utah, taking on the 9th-ranked BYU Cougars, a team Bucky would like some redemption against. If you remember just 8 months ago, this is the same BYU bunch that knocked Bucky out of the NCAA tournament in the round of 32. Early on, Nolan Winter, making his presence known, missed his first attempt, but the junior picks up his own board and hooks it through the nylon, giving the Badgers one of their few leads in this ballgame. Winter would finish with a double-double. Jump to the second half, the Badgers still trying to stick around. Jack Janicki finds the net from behind the arc, getting them back to within single digits, but from there on out, it was a one-sided affair. BYU ruins Wisconsin's revenge story. The Badgers suffer their first loss of the year, falling 98-70 to the Cougars. For now at Camp Randall, Nash Dara, News 3 Sports.
All right, guys, thanks. And a reminder, don't forget to watch the Wisconsin Huddle tonight this week. Andrew sits down with former Badger men's basketball player Trevor Anderson. Hear their conversation at 6:30 right after this newscast.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And you can always watch us again streaming 24/7. And we'll be back here at 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching.